The American Dream. It's a phrase etched into the soul of this nation. A beacon of hope, a guiding light for millions. A promise whispered from one generation to the next, carried on the winds of time. It's the idea that in America, anything is possible. That dreams can be turned into reality. That hard work paves the path to success. That perseverance and dedication can overcome any obstacle. That no matter where you come from, you can achieve prosperity and happiness. Sounds great, right? A land where opportunity knows no bounds. But what happens when the dream starts to feel more like a fantasy? When the promise seems out of reach? For generations, people have flocked to America, lured by the siren song of opportunity. They came with hopes high and hearts full. They believed in the promise of a better life. They saw America as a land of endless possibilities. They were willing to work hard, to sacrifice, to chase the dream, to build a future for themselves and their families. But the reality of the American dream is far more complicated. It's a landscape filled with both triumphs and trials. It's a story of triumphs, yes, but also of struggles, of inequalities, of battles fought and battles lost, and of a system that often favors the few over the many, a dream that is both inspiring and elusive. The term American Dream wasn't always around. It wasn't a concept that people could easily define or even recognize in the early days of the nation. It emerged during a time of deep crisis, a period when the very fabric of American society seemed to be unraveling. The Great Depression had crippled the nation, leaving millions unemployed and desperate. People were desperate for something to believe in. Enter James Truslow Adams, a historian and writer who sought to capture the essence of what America could be. In his 1931 book, The Epic of America, he articulated this national yearning, giving voice to the hopes and dreams of countless Americans. He called it that dream of a land in which life should be better, richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement. This was a radical idea at the time, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair. Adams's words resonated deeply with the American public. They weren't just words on a page, they were a lifeline for many. They offered hope in a time of despair, a vision of a future where hard work and determination could lead to a better life. They painted a picture of a society where hard work translated into a better life, where the American dream was within reach for everyone. But even then, there were cracks in the facade. The reality of achieving this dream was fraught with challenges and obstacles. Adams himself acknowledged that the dream wasn't about material wealth alone, it was about something far more profound. It was about something more profound, the chance to live a life of dignity, purpose, and fulfillment. A life where one could find meaning and satisfaction beyond mere financial success. A chance that seemed increasingly out of reach for many, as economic disparities and social inequalities continued to grow. The American dream, while a powerful idea, was not an easy reality for everyone. After the darkness of the Depression came the dawn of a new era. World War II ended, America emerged as a global superpower. The economy boomed. The American dream seemed within grasp. Suburban homes with white picket fences, shiny new cars in every driveway. This was the golden age of the American dream, or so it seemed. But this prosperity wasn't shared by all. While white Americans were buying homes and building wealth, black Americans were systematically denied access to these opportunities. Segregation, discrimination, and outright racism formed an invisible wall, barring millions from the dream they were promised. The American dream was starting to look like a members-only club, and the dress code was white. Let's talk about redlining. This insidious practice, backed by the government, literally drew lines on maps. Neighborhoods with black residents, redlined, denied loans, mortgages, and access to capital. The result? Generations locked out of homeownership, the cornerstone of wealth creation in America. Redlining wasn't just about housing, it was about opportunity. Good schools, healthcare, even grocery stores, all these were impacted by where you lived. Redlining created a system where your zip code determined your destiny. It's a stain on the fabric of the American dream, a stark reminder that the promise of equality has often been denied. The crushing weight of aspiration student debt and the new American nightmare. Fast forward to the 21st century. The cost of education skyrockets. College degrees become the new high school diploma. Young people are told, get a good education, get a good job, achieve the American dream, but there's a catch. That education comes with a hefty price tag. student loan debt. Today, millions of Americans are saddled with crippling student loan debt. They're delaying marriage, homeownership, even having children. The dream of a better life is being crushed under the weight of student loan payments. It's a vicious cycle. The very system that promises upward mobility is trapping a generation in a quagmire of debt. Remember those suburban homes with white picket fences? They're still around. But for many, they're just a mirage. The housing market has become a high-stakes game, and the odds are stacked against ordinary Americans. Wages have stagnated. Housing costs have skyrocketed. Owning a home, once a symbol of the American dream, is now a distant dream for many. The 2008 housing crisis exposed the fragility of this dream. Millions lost their homes. The dream turned into a nightmare. And while the economy has recovered, the dream of homeownership remains elusive for many. It begs the question, is the American dream becoming just that, a dream? Here's the irony. While the American dream feels increasingly out of reach for many, there's a whole industry built around it. Corporate America loves the American dream. It's a powerful marketing tool. Buy this product, invest in this scheme, and you too can achieve the dream. But the truth is the system is often rigged. CEOs are raking in record profits while wages for ordinary workers remain stagnant. The gap between the rich and the poor is widening. The American dream is being used to sell a narrative, a fantasy that benefits those at the top. It's time to pull back the curtain and expose the machinery behind the dream. But amidst the challenges, there's a glimmer of hope. Millennials and Gen Z, the generations saddled with student debt and facing a climate crisis, are redefining the American dream. They're not just chasing material wealth. They're looking for purpose, for work-life balance, for a chance to make a difference. They're starting businesses, embracing the gig economy, and demanding more from their employers. They're challenging the status quo and creating a new vision for the American dream, one that's more inclusive, more sustainable, and more focused on well-being than on wealth accumulation. They're the dreamers of a new generation, and they're not afraid to rewrite the rules. Let's not forget, America is a nation of immigrants. From the earliest settlers to the waves of newcomers who arrived at Ellis Island, each group has contributed to the rich tapestry of American society. The American dream has always held a special allure for those seeking a better life on foreign shores. It promises freedom, opportunity, and the chance to build a new life. But the immigrant experience is a complex one. It's not just about the journey across the ocean or the arrival at a new port. It's about adapting to a new culture, learning a new language, and finding a place in a society that can be both welcoming and hostile. It's a story of resilience, of hard work, of overcoming obstacles. Immigrants have always had to prove themselves, to show that they belong, and to fight for their place in the American dream. But it's also a story of discrimination, of exploitation, and of prejudice. Many immigrants have faced hostility and suspicion simply because they were different, and of the constant struggle to be seen as fully American. This struggle is not just about legal status, but about acceptance and recognition. From the Chinese Exclusion Act to the Muslim travel ban, history is filled with examples of policies that have targeted specific groups, making their journey even harder. America has a long history of closing its doors to immigrants. These policies have often been driven by fear and misunderstanding, rather than by the values of freedom and equality. The current political climate, with its focus on building walls and demonizing immigrants, feels like a betrayal of the very ideals upon which this nation was founded. It challenges the notion that America is a land of opportunity for all. The American dream should be a beacon of hope for all, regardless of where they were born or the color of their skin. It should stand as a testament to the idea that anyone, from anywhere, can achieve their dreams in this land of opportunity.